Tapping merchants, tapping merchants, tapping merchants, tapping merchants. If you're a football fan, chances are you've probably encountered the word tapping merchant. It is a term so widely used in the football community. There are different footballers who score goals in different ways, and a class of these footballers have been tagged the tapping merchants. First off, the players who are genuinely called tapping merchants are those effective only in the 6-yard box, who can dribble, who can't pass, or do at least 6 step overs before getting dispossessed and then shout at the referee. A tapping merchant could be someone who is a clinically genius player who uses his exquisite footwork to finish their dinner, so to say. By this, they score many goals. Now, these definitions are totally due to preference. Those who don't like tapping merchants classify them as players who rely on others to score, and those who like them classify them as players who have mastered the art of timing their runs onto the back post. But what I can agree upon is that they are players who score goals inside the 6-yard box. So, what does this word actually mean? And are players actually tapping merchants? Let's dive in. What comes to your mind when you think of a tapping merchant? There is a 90% chance that it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, this has been proven by some football scientists whose name I can't remember right now. But point is, there are many players who have been dubbed as tapping merchants, such as Sterling, Aguero, Mario Gomez, who scored most of his goals with tappings, and many more. Now, who has also been seen as the greatest tapping merchant of all time? I think we both know the answer to that. Cristiano Ronaldo. But Ronaldo is a top player who has mastered the art of timing his runs onto the back post, and his tappings are just one of his many attributes. Tappings are underrated in football, and much isn't given to players who score with a tapping. As the name implies, tap in. They score with a single touch of the ball in the 6-yard box. Scoring a tapping does require an elite level of positioning in the box, and they require more than just where and when to run. If you watch tapping merchants closely, they make a lot of dummy runs to try and fool the defender before going on to score a tapping. It takes desire, drive, and natural instinct to position themselves in the box, and this attribute is what great strikers all have in common. Now let's take a look at this video. Notice how Chicharito makes a lot of fake runs before getting into his final position. Someone like Raheem Sterling, who is often criticized for missing big chances, was still a key player under Pep Guardiola. Why? It's simple. Because of his ability to position himself so well in the box to finish off some of City's brilliant moves. The instinct to be at the right place at the right time will always be a valuable ability to any winning team. Now, a big reason tapping are underrated is because people will watch the whole game starting from the ball carrier. We usually do not watch when the tapping merchants makes tons and tons of dummy runs. So what they see after the final pass is just a striker completely unmarked scoring an easy goal. What most football fans don't understand is that for a player to be completely unmarked inside the box, they need to have great position awareness, they need to make fake runs to deceive the defender, and they need to know in anticipation where the play is probably going to before the defenders. The movement of the player off the ball is what facilitates the movement of the player in possession. Someone like Kevin De Bruyne needs players constantly moving around in the box. Or else, if a player is alone in the final third, they will be overwhelmed by opposition if they are not busy marking other players' runs. Tap-ins could be seen as quintessential team goals. For them to happen, everyone on the team has to contribute to their movements and everyone has to play their role perfectly. The player on the ball has to make the right decision at the right time. The scoring player should be at the right place at the right time. The other players have to move in order to disrupt the defense and create space for the scorer. Tap-ins are beautiful because of how tactically and collectively coordinated they must be. Now, what most football fans would say is that tap-ins are alright, but someone who scores mostly tap-ins shouldn't be compared to a player who creates most of their chances. And I'd say, fair enough, but still, tap-ins are an art and you need to understand the game to be able to score tap-ins. The art of knowing when to arrive in the box or at the front or back post at exactly the right time is one of the most underrated skills in football, something that is much harder to teach than how to strike a ball from range. Now let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a 30-goal a season striker on your team that only scores from tap-ins, or a 15-goal a season striker that scores only screamers? I want you to pause this video and comment your choice below under the video. I personally, as a person, would go for a 30-goal a season striker that only scores tap-ins. Now let me explain why. Because despite all the goal of the month awards and endless replays on social media, they all still only count as one. And I personally would prefer more volume of goals. That's just me. You can tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. We call strikers of today's generation tap-in merchants. But what's wrong with being a tap-in merchant? Absolutely nothing. For context, Gary Lineker is one of the most celebrated forwards of his generation. Yet, how many 30-yard screamers did he score? Would Manchester United be able to celebrate a treble without 6-yard poachers such as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? To the naked eye, when a goalkeeper makes a stunning save, it's usually very pleasing. Commentators and fans alike can't stop raving about the keeper and his heroics. When it's a tap-in though, it's generally not appreciated with the same vigor. It's understandable too. After all, tap-ins are unspectacular and not as glamorous as a goalkeeper flying across the goalpost. But in all honesty, it's the build-up to a tap-in that should capture your imagination. And the next time you see a tap-in, take your time and watch the build-up to that tap-in, focusing mainly on the player's movement. Football is a game where the subjects are always on the move at a high tempo, and scoring a tap-in could be quite a difficult skill to master. Yes, that's all on this video. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you've enjoyed it, feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe, notifications on. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.